Okay, we're going to start off with 1 cup of butter or margarine. And you want to beat that until it is nice and fluffy. Slowly add 1.5 cups of sugar. Continue to beat on high. Again, you want this to be nice and fluffy, so you need to scrape the bowl down periodically just to make sure everything is getting nice and mixed up. And then we're going to add our 2 eggs, 1 at a time. Mix well in between each egg. Again, just scraping down the sides as needed. Next, we're going to add our vanilla, 2 teaspoons. Then we're going to set this aside and sift together our dry ingredients in a separate bowl. We're going to start with 4 cups of all-purpose flour, and 1 teaspoon of baking powder with 1 teaspoon of salt. Sift that together. And we are going to alternate our flour mixture and a 1/4 cup of light cream or milk, taking time to blend good in between each addition. And if you can help it, try not to make a big mess like I always seem to do. And once that is all mixed up, you're going to divide this into 8 equal portions. It is more like a cookie dough, but that is going to make our 8 layers. As you can see here, I have my 8 portions. Then you're going to want to grease your pan. And I am using the wrappers from the butter that we used earlier. Add a little flour to the bottom of your pan and coat it pretty good. That will keep it from sticking. Your oven should be set at 350 degrees at this point. Now, what I found to work the best is to tear the dough into tiny little pieces. If you do that, it is easier to spread. I tried rolling it with a rolling pin. I tried just putting it in the middle and pushing it out with my fingers. None of that worked. because this is such a thin layer. So flour your hands really good, and you'll need to continue to add flour to your fingertips and just push out the dough. Now this is the most time-consuming part of the whole thing. Try to cover all the holes best you can. Then these bake in the oven for 10 to 12 minutes. Next, you're going to take your cooked layer and you're going to pop it on a cooling rack. After you're done with all your layers, you're going to make sure that they're cool. And then you're going to add applesauce and apple butter. The amount of applesauce you want to use is up to you on how sweet you want this to be. You could do just apple butter if you want, and it'll be much more rich. Or you can mix even more applesauce to make it even less rich. That is all just how you like it, so just taste it and make sure that it's the way you want. Then you're going to start with a layer of the cookie or cake layer and spread a good amount of your mixture on it. Make sure you go all the way to the edges. And then add your next layer. If you have some little holes like this, do not worry about that. Just make sure you keep the prettiest layer for the top, because nothing but powdered sugar is going to go on the top of the cake. So continue to do this with all 8 layers. Then you're going to wrap this in saran wrap and let it go overnight or up to 24 hours. Also then, to just clean up my cake stand, I just went ahead with a paper towel and just wiped it off so it'd be nice and pretty. Look at these beautiful layers. As it sits, and why it sits for so long after you wrap it in saran wrap, is then it will get nice and soft. So this is the next day, and I'm just going to sprinkle powdered sugar on top. And that's it. This cake is done. And now, time to taste this amazingness. Now, I have had this many times because my grandmother made it growing up. But you guys, this is so good. Even though it has to sit for 24 hours, it is so worth it. I really, really wish you guys could taste this because it's so good. It's so moist. It is super, super moist. There's all that wonderful apple goodness. It's not too rich because we mixed the apple butter with the applesauce. It's not too rich at all. It's all soft and perfect. You guys really need to try this. This recipe came out right before I was born. So I hate to call it vintage since, you know, I don't feel like I'm that old, but it's so good. Hardest part's gonna be not eating the whole thing. And if you wanted, you could even sprinkle a little cinnamon on top, make it a little bit even more fall. It really doesn't need any kind of icing, nothing more than just the powdered sugar. Okay, make sure you guys give this video a big thumbs up if you want to see more like this and to continue with our fall series. And thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the little bell so you are notified of all new videos. I'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.